Hello guys and welcome to another video. Now today, if my voice sounds a bit off, it's because I actually have a cold. I went ice skating the other day, and besides the gigantic blister I got on my foot, I also got this beautiful raspy voice, so you're gonna have to deal with it for this whole video. So what are we doing today besides complaining about my voice? Today we are ranking every single book, manga, or comic book, or graphic novel that I read in 2021. Now, I'm guessing by my editing schedule that this will be done for the first Monday of 2022. So happy 2022, guys. Happy New Year, if you're weird to say because we're still on the 27th. But happy New Year, and I guess let's look back on every single thing I read in 2021 and let's rank it. Let's see what are the best, the least best, and the most surprising. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So if you actually look at my Goodreads account, it says that I have read about 200. That is only because I include each manga volume and Goodreads counts that as a book. So I have exceeded my Goodreads goal by like 250%. My goal was to read 40 books, and I think I got there. So let's check out our tiers. Okay, so here are our tiers. First of all, we have, of course, God tier, which is for obviously my favorite books of the year, but also those books which have transcended the favorite books of the year and now have become just like the favorite books of my life. Then we have Just Makes Me So Happy, which are the books that I love, and they just give me all the good vibes and all the warm, happy feelings. Just like looking at them on my bookshelf reminds me of how much I love them and how happy it makes me. And then we have A Fun Time, which is a book that I either like or really enjoy, but it doesn't go further than that. You know, I wouldn't die for the characters, but it's still a fun time and I would reread it. Then we have A Good Surprise, which are the books that I just read because I wanted to be entertained, but not expecting to like them, but I ended up really liking them. Then we have Not For Me, because I don't hate the book, but I don't love it. I just read it and I can see why other people like it, but it's just not the book for me. Then we have I Was Rooting For You. We were all rooting for you, which is the opposite of The Good Surprise. I wanted to love it, but I did not. And then we have Wish I Could Unread. I don't know if we're getting any books in this category this year. We definitely had Twilight last year. The books here are in no particular order. They're just like randomly. So let's just get into it. First we have Layer of Dreams, which is either the second or third books in the Diviner series. Okay, so I think it's the second book in the Diviner series. I'm going to put you, clearly I'm not in love with this series since I forgot its name, but it was a fun time. It was definitely a fun time. I read it over the summer and it was quite enjoyable. I like the characters. There's a seemingly ace or a romantic character and I'm really enjoying it, so a fun time. Then we have the second book in the latest Cassandra Clare trilogy, which is Chain of Iron, I believe. And I'm just going to put this one in Just Makes Me So Happy, which, you know, it's kind of a lie because I did love reading the book. I have a whole reading blog for it, but it was also like a very painful experience. I hated the ending. I mean, I liked the ending, but I knew it was coming and I hated it. So, does it make me happy? I don't know, but I really enjoyed the book. Then we have our first manga, which is called, I believe, Kono Ototomare. And I read this one because I watched the anime and it ended without like an ending because sometimes they don't do the whole thing. So I decided I was going to read it and I loved it, so I'm going to put it in A Fun Time. I'm really rooting for the main ship here. Yeah, it was really good. If you haven't watched it, I recommend the anime. The music in it is incredible. And then we have Noragami, which I have already had a story time about. Go check out my latest haul in which I warn you against buying a manga series if you haven't checked if it's finished or not. And this one also goes into a fun time. It's good, it's not great. The female representation is a bit iffy, how they're drawn, how they're depicted, but it's generally like very interesting and I like the characters. And then we have Cricket Kingdom, which obviously goes into God tier. And could I say that it just makes me so happy? It's like, it makes me so sad to think about it. I love it, but at the same time, it makes me really sad. Then we have Illuminate, which of course you guys know is going into God tier again. Why did I read Illuminate and Cricket Kingdom again this year? Because sometimes, you know, when you have mental illness, you just have to reread your favorite book series again and again. Before we get to the rest of the ranking, please leave a like and subscribe because it really does help my channel. Okay, let's go! And then here we have Six of Crows, which obviously goes straight into God tier, and it's going to be the first one here because it's my favorite out of the three. Then we have The Hating Game, and you're like, what? But you've already read it twice. And yes, this was the third time I read it, not this year, but in the last 2 years. And this has been my last book of the year, so a good one to close with. And I'm not gonna put it in God tier, but I am going to put it in just makes me so happy. It's such a quick, fast, fun, light read, and I don't know, I really like it. I could say some bad things about it, but in general, I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed the movie that came out December 10th. So if you're watching, please release that in Spain. Spain wants to watch the movie as well, please. And then we have Before the Devil Breaks You from the Diviner series, I remembered. And this one, of course, goes into a fun time as well. Then we have, of course, Percy Jackson, which we all know obviously goes into God tier. Here we go. Okay. Remember way back when I did the how to read the Rick Riordan books in order, I said I am going to do a marathon of every single Rick Riordan book. And then I uploaded the reading vlog of The Lightning Thief, and then that was it. Yeah, fun times. Given that this video comes out at the beginning of 2022, it's safe to say that I did not do a video or a reading vlog for any of the other books because I have not read them. Let's just say that when I was starting to do my master's degree, I was scared that I was not going to be able to produce a lot of videos because I had to focus on other stuff. And that's mainly true, but I managed. So reading vlogs just weren't, you know, a priority for me. And I have to be in a mood. I'm a mood reader to read something, so I really wasn't. I don't know why. And yeah, so just hold on. That marathon is coming. When I don't have any more content ideas or time to make content like sitting down, I will make the reading vlogs. So they are coming eventually. Then we have the first book in the Aurora cycle, which is Aurora Rising. In case you don't know, this is a sci-fi trilogy, and ever since it's come out, with every book release, I've reread the whole series, and that's just, it's a way trilogies and book series are meant to be read. Like, trust me, the experience is completely different. So this one, I don't know if it goes into God tier, but I feel like I like it more than the other ones. So I'm just gonna put it in God tier for now. I really, really enjoy that first book. It's incredible. Then we have Ace of Shades, and here we go. We have I Was Rooting For You. So at the beginning of the year, I did a video where I gave some prompts without mentioning the titles of books, and you guys told me the order in which to read them, basically. And I bought this one because Emma Books really loves it, and we usually have similar taste in books, but not this time. I don't know why, it just didn't click with me, not my kind of book, so I'm not gonna mention it anymore. If you want to know more of my in-depth thoughts, just watch the video, because I honestly don't remember a lot, just disappointment in general. And then we have another fun one, the second book in the Dreamer trilogy, Mr. Impossible. First of all, I hate the cover. is just horrible. It looks horrible next to the first book in that series. And let's just say I was rooting for this one as well. I have a whole reading vlog as well. I'll link it down below. I don't know. It's just, I don't think this series is for me. I'm obviously gonna finish the trilogy because I want to know how it ends. I like Ronan, and I like Adam, and I like Ronan's brothers, and I like Hennessy. Her whole deal, incredible, really interesting. But I feel like this book series is completely unnecessary. And that's all I have to say about that for the moment. Then we have the first book in the Simon Snow trilogy, Carry On, and there you go, boy. Get up there. Here we go. These are not in no particular order, but Carry On, incredible. When I reread it this year, I noticed that it was probably my favorite trilogy of all time. Yeah, I think that's safe to say. So the first time I read the first and second books, I did the same thing as with the Aurora cycle. I just reread the whole thing every time I read one of the books. I knew I loved it, but I didn't realize just how much. And then this year, I read Carry On again, and I was like, damn, that is such a great book. It's definitely the best book in the series, but the series in general is so good. And then I got one of my best friends to read it, and then she loved it as well, and it was like validation. And yeah, now I'm obsessed with Carry On, and it's my favorite trilogy of all time. There, I said it. I said it. And I stand by it. Then we have another manga, which is Dr. Stone. I watched the whole anime when I was on vacation with my friends in Alicante, and we all loved it. And then I started reading the manga because my friend is obsessed with it and has all of the volumes, so she just lent them to me. And I'm gonna say it's a fun time. I'm honestly really excited to see where it goes and to see when the next season is going to come out, if ever. Hopefully soon. Then we have The Opposite of Always. This is another book that was in the video mentioned earlier where my subscribers picked my TBR. And this one was a good surprise. I didn't think I was gonna love it, but it was really entertaining, and I read it in like 2 days, so very fast read. I didn't love it, but I really enjoyed it, and I would reread it, and I would definitely want to watch a movie or TV series adaptation about it. So yeah, just generally a good surprise. It was a good way to end the video as well, on a happy note after reading Ace of Shades and not really loving it. So yeah, I would recommend it to fans of contemporary fiction with a hint of magic. And then we have King of Scars, which I read, I believe, at the beginning of the year. And this one I'm just gonna put in. It just makes me so happy. It could also go into a fun time because it wasn't great. But honestly, this book was clearly made for hardcore fans of the Grishaverse. So it was made for me, basically, and I just love the characters so much that it has to go in. Just makes me so happy. Soyana Zielinski has become one of my all-time favorite characters, so I think she elevates the book for me, and also her relationship with Nikolai is to die for, so it has to be there. And then we have Fens. Fens is a graphic novel series that has 4 volumes, and it focuses on an academy for only boys where they fence, you know, the sport with a sword. Yeah, that's basically the premise. If you're into sports anime at all, this is definitely for you. It only has 4 volumes, but they're 4 perfect volumes, so I definitely recommend it. I'm just gonna put this one into, it just makes me so happy. If they ever made like a cartoon or an anime on this, I would be so happy. It made me so sad when they stopped after 4 volumes, but it's getting novels in written form. They're no longer graphic novels, which I obviously prefer, and they're not done by the same author, which you can totally tell, but I'll talk about that later. Then we have Kimetsu no Yaiba, or Demon Slayer, and that one is going straight into God tier. That's right, we have our first manga that goes into God tier. In case you haven't been here for a while, I love manga, and I started watching Kimetsu this year with the release of the movie, which, by the way, I watched in theaters, and oh my god, did I cry. But yeah, then I finished the movie and I started buying the manga. And let's just say that I read the last 6 volumes back to back, and I spent 3 hours crying while I read them. I have never once in my life cried with a book or manga. Never, not one single tear. My eyes get like wet, they get shiny, but nothing falls. There's not one single tear running down my cheeks when I read books. Even if I'm like emotionally destroyed, I will not shed a tear. I don't know what's wrong with me, but that will not happen. On the other hand, I cry like a baby in movies. In any movie, any commercial, any video about someone rescuing dogs, I will cry. But with my favorite books, with my favorite character being tortured, I will not shed a tear. Don't ask me why, I do not know. But with this, I cried for 3 hours while reading the final 5 volumes. So I think that's an indication to how good it is. So please go read it, it's great. And the second season is coming out right now, so this is the perfect time. Then we have the second book in the Aurora cycle, Aurora, what is it? Aurora Burning. Does this go in God tier? I do not know. I'm just gonna put it in God tier, honestly, because it's the whole series. So let me just put the last one in God tier as well. They're not 5-star reads, they're like 4.5, 4.5 stars out of 5 stars. But I just love the characters so much. The last book wasn't the best. It kind of deserves to be and just makes me happy. But I love the characters that much that it's going to be there. The fact is, when you have an ensemble cast and then you separate them for the last book and they don't interact with each other, except the couples, it stops being that good. What I liked was the dynamic of the whole team of Squad 312 as a whole. And then they were like, no. So I feel like that's what went wrong halfway through the second book and then all the way through the third book. If I had written this, Squad 312 would have stayed together all the way through the trilogy. So that's what knocked it down a peg for me, but I still generally loved it. Then we have Atelier of Witch Hat. I don't know if that's the name in English, but it's another manga, and I'm just gonna put it in a fun time as well. It's a manga about these young witches who are apprentices to this older witch, and it's really wholesome and kind of dark as well, and just overall really interesting and fun. Then we have another graphic novel. It's the Avant Garde. It's about, I believe, is it an all-female college? I don't know. A liberal arts college, and it's about them, these group of girls starting a basketball team, and it's really fun. I haven't read all of the volumes, I really want to though, but the ones that I have read have been really entertaining. It has a lot of diversity, and it's really fun overall. So if you're into girl friendship dynamics at all, then this is the graphic novel for you. So, is this all going to be a fun time? A fun time is going to be filled with books. Then we have Tokyo Revengers. One of my friends has been pestering me to read this manga for over a year. For a good reason. It's our favorite manga series of all time. And I finally gave in and I read it. And oh my god. This manga goes hard. It is too real. No character is safe, and oh my god, it's just so intense. There's like no breaks, so many emotions, just so many emotions. So I don't know where to put this. Is it a fun time? I don't know, because it makes me want to cry. Does it just make me so happy? Not really, doesn't make me happy necessarily. I'm gonna put it in a good surprise, because I didn't think it was the type of manga for me. I'm usually more into either heavy romance or heavy fantasy, and this was none. But it was really good. It has this time travel, time twist, like contemporary with a tiny bit of magic. So hey, look, like the other one next to it. Maybe Good Surprise is just for like contemporaries with a dash of time travel. Then we have Cinderella is Dead, which I'm gonna put in not for me. Yeah, you guys know this if you watched, again, my subscribers pick my TBR video. I wanted to love it. and I did not. So there it goes. Then we have Wayward Sun, which obviously wrecked me like it did every single other person on this planet. It wasn't the first time I read it, obviously. So it was easier to read it knowing that the third book already was out there and I could read it afterwards. But then we have The Runaways. I've talked about this quite a few times on my channel as well. It's a comic book written by none other than Rainbow Rowell, so she apparently has me wrapped around her little finger. And it's just great. It's a fan family superhero comic book, but with really fun powers, really fun family friendship dynamics. It has a Hulu show, I believe. It's great. 3 seasons. They canceled it. I don't know why. I thought it was incredible. And it has 5 volumes. And it's incredible. They canceled it as well, so they cancel everything I love. But this is going straight into God tier. It's probably, I don't know if it's my favorite comic book of all time, but it's in the top 2. The other one would be Super Sons. And then we have Only Mostly Devastated, and this is the reason that I created the Good Surprise tier. And I bought it because I was like, oh, a cute gay romance. Sure, why not? High school Greek retelling, okay, it'll be fun. Well, it was more than fun. It was hilarious, and it was a super quick read, and I am dying to reread it. And honestly, I just hope this gets turned into a Netflix movie. Well, maybe not Netflix, maybe something better. But yeah, really good, recommended. And then we have The House in the Cerulean Sea. This is also a book that one of my friends recommended, and it's one of her favorite books, and for me, it was a fun time. Okay, so the second half for me is 4.5 out of 5 stars, but the first half is like 3 stars. And then we have Wonder Woman something. And this is probably the first thing I read this year because I got it for Christmas. Nah, let's just go with a fun time. It was fun, it was quick, it's a graphic novel. It was nice to read something from a younger Diana. And then we have Second First Impressions, and then this one goes, it's not for me. I was rooting for it, but I knew I wasn't going to like it as much as the other Sally Thorne book I'd read. I just thought, I don't know, I didn't really love the characters. The ship dynamic was okay, but the guy was a man baby, so that wasn't for me. And I didn't really enjoy the girls' aesthetic. Don't even remember their names. And then You Should See Me in a Crown. I don't know, because I feel like it was enjoyable at the time. It was entertaining, and I think I would like it more if it was a movie. But I have forgotten almost everything about it. It was a lesbian romance set in high school where they both run for prom queen. That I know. That's a basic premise. But okay, I'm gonna put it in a... Does it deserve to be with the others? I'm just gonna put it in not for me. Then we have Honey and Ishu's Guide to Fake Dating, and this one was a great surprise. It's about 2 girls who start fake dating, and it's just incredible. It's beautiful. I started reading it when I was at the doctor's because I had to wait for an hour, so it was great, and it got me through that hour of nothing to do. So see? So basically my whole family just decided to have a meeting in my room, so I don't honestly remember what I was talking about, but let's move on to the next one, and that is Fence, the first actual novel. And for this one, I was gonna say, I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna put it in I Was Rooting For You. This is different from the other ones that are in this tier because I did still like it, but I was rooting for it to be better, and it focuses more on the side ship than on the main one that I was rooting for. So I did not enjoy that, and you can tell that it was written by someone else, and the author just had a way of naming a characters 5 times in the same paragraph, and I'm like, just please. But other than that, I enjoyed it, and that's that. Then we have The Invisible Life of Addie Larue, and I'm just going to put this one in a good surprise. This may come as a surprise for you, but this book was super overhyped on the internet, especially on BookTube. And I thought I wasn't going to like it because when a book is overhyped, I was like, then it's probably not that good. but it was good. It wasn't great, okay, don't get me wrong. It wasn't a 5-star read, but it was definitely entertaining, easy to read because I accidentally got a large print edition and the letters were like this big. Then we have Legendborn, and this was also one of the ones that I did for the video, and this was also a very good surprise. Probably like a 4 or 4.5 stars out of 5. Just really enjoyable, really looking forward to the second one. Might reread it, so I have the full experience when that one comes out. Just really liked it. It was lacking for me in terms of character relationship development. Okay, so we're almost done, and then we have the 4th volume of Heartstopper. I do count Heartstopper as different volumes just because they're really thick, and this one goes into just makes me so happy. Volume number 1 of Heartstopper would definitely go into God tier because it's my favorite and it meant so much to me at the time. Volume number 4 is still great, but it's not my favorite. And we have Anyway the Wind Blows, which could go in a number of different categories. Like, it could straight up go into I Was Rooting for You, because my expectations were so high after having reread the whole thing to read this one that it was not able to live up to the expectations. I have a whole ass reading blog on this. I had a lot of feelings while reading it. Overall, I'm just gonna put this in just makes me so happy. I feel like the next time I reread the whole trilogy, I will be happier because now I know where to keep my expectations, and I know that not all my questions are answered. And then we have Fangirl, the 1st volume of the manga, which is like a super weird thing that is happening. I'm gonna put this one in a good surprise. I don't know what my expectations were, but I feel like I liked it more than the book, just because you don't have to read all that's going on through her brain, so it's much faster, and I really enjoyed that. And then we have Boku no Hero Academia, or My Hero Academia, which is a manga / anime, and I'm just going to go, I don't know. I'm going to go into I Was Rooting for You. I still really like the manga overall. The women in it are some of the worst written women in manga history, which is saying something. But overall, I really like some of the characters, and I really enjoyed the beginning, and I'm just looking forward to it ending. The creator just said that he might end it in a year, and I thought it was ending soon, so I'm just hoping we won't go over 40 volumes because I'm not willing to purchase that many. And on the opposite end of the manga spectrum, we have Haikyuu. Is this the last volume cover? I don't know. This goes straight into God tier. It's just incredible. Favorite manga of all time next to Fullmetal Alchemist. And it's just, what can I say? It's a volleyball anime / manga, and it's great. I recommend it to anyone. You don't have to like volleyball. You don't even have to like sports to like it. You just have to like good characters, good character dynamics, and great character development. Then we have Rule of Wolves. Where does this one go? Just makes me so happy, or I Was Rooting for You. The problem I have with this trilogy is that it follows Nikolai and Soya, which is great, here, and then it follows Nina here doing something completely different and completely irrelevant to the plot until the last 100 pages of the second book. It was weird. I did not like the jumps, but I'm just gonna put it in Makes Me So Happy next to King of Scars because it does have Soya and Nikolai, and that always makes me happy. And then One Last Stop. It was interesting. It was definitely a fun time. Do not read this if you are not old enough to read it, please. It gets graphic, but it was a fun time. I genuinely liked it, and I would consider rereading it. I didn't like it as much as Red, White, and Royal Blue, so that kind of made me like it less because of my expectations, but I still liked it. And then we have Better Together. A lot of people are hating this book. Honestly, it wasn't for me. It wasn't my favorite, but I didn't hate it. I'd say it was a pretty average romance contemporary book. Like, people are shitting on it just because Christine is a booktuber, and I get it, but at the same time, I don't. if it wasn't by a known booktuber, people would be like, okay, it wasn't my favorite, but I didn't hate it. I think people are really biased and aren't seeing that this is just, okay, it's not great, but it's also not bad. I thought her writing improved a lot from the first book, and I thought it was an interesting premise with kind of interesting characters. I did hate one of the sisters though. Okay, here we go. Final sprint. Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins reads. You guys know my obsession. This goes into just makes me so happy. I don't know. It wasn't my favorite book from her, but it was definitely my favorite characters from her. They were 4 siblings. I can relate. I still don't know which sibling I am out of the 4, but I loved all of them, and it was so nice to see the character dynamics of 4 siblings where it's 2 guys and 2 girls, exactly like in my family. So I really liked that. And then we have Daughter of the Deep, which was honestly a good surprise. I was expecting to not like it, but I did like it. I genuinely really enjoyed it, loved the main character, great plot twist, so very good. Then we have one of the first novels that was inspired by Kimetsu no Yaiba, actually written by the same author, and I'm gonna say, it was a fun time. Did not love them, rather have them in manga format, but it was fun to see more of my favorite characters. Then we have The Diviners, which obviously goes the same as the others. A fun time with, I'm gonna put them in order. Here we go. And finally, we have The Night Circus. I'm sorry, my voice is killing me right now, but it's the last book here, so here we go. And it goes straight into not for me. That is not to say that I didn't like it. This is another one that my friend recommended, and I will say it was really interesting, and I can see this being an incredible movie. It really crafted a really intricate world. The world building was there. Like, everything was so visual. You can clearly tell that the author knows everything about this world and everything about how this night circus works. But that being said, the circus felt like the main character, not the 2 human main characters that we get points of view from. So that is why I didn't like it as much. It's not for me because it's setting based, not even plot based, and I like plot focused books as well. But my favorite are character focused books, and this one did not focus on the characters at all. We barely got to meet them, and I was really here trying to live for this forbidden romance, but it wasn't at the forefront. It was like very far back. So yeah, just leave a like, comment down below if you've read any of these books, or what have your favorite books of the year been, or a more juicy one, because I did not have any books I hated. What are the worst books that you have read this year? That is what I'm most looking forward to hearing from you. Overall, I apparently read 49 books, I believe. If you count the manga by each individual volume, then I read over 200. I'll leave my Goodreads account down below if you want to follow me. And yeah, like I said, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, click that bell button if you want to get notifications every time I post a new video. I post videos quite frequently on this channel, and I guess I'll see you guys next time. Bye!